Oh
Or,
my gosh. Dara, let's kick this off right because this has my caffeine and you just drank a bunch of coffee and I was like this close to being like, maybe I don't go with this and maybe I go with a Red Bull. Um just
hmm,
for the throwback memes of like all the times in college that I was drinking Red Bull,
yeah.
but I'm sticking with it. Cheers. Here's to waking up, and we're on a timeline for this for, for this last episode.
I don't have water left in here.
Oh, wow.
Last drop.
I was telling one of my buddies the other day, I was like, maybe I should have like a toast to kick off the show, like something something to missing the homies or something something
Mm,
cheers.
yeah, I feel that.
So yeah, I don't know. That's
That'd be a cute catchphrase.
yeah, or some kind of catchphrase. But I don't. As we full circle bring it back to the beginning of the month, I don't know that I have any catchphrases.
Mm. Wow, today I said wowzers in front of, was it wowzers? No, golly in front of my cohort. And one of the girls
Golly.
was like, golly, and they laughed at me, and I was like, oh, okay, go.
Do you say oh shucks too? Ah shucks. What's
No,
your
I
favorite
just think,
white people thing? What's your favorite thing that white people say?
oh gosh.
Mine is all right, let's get ready. Who's ready to rock and roll? I say that
Oh
all
my
the time.
God.
That's my
Yes.
that's honestly, if anything, that would probably be my catchphrase. Wow, see the bubblies
Let's get
already
rowdy. Let's get rowdy in here.
let's get rowdy.
I need to get rowdy. Man, some white people phrases, I'm just like, okay.
What was so I guess this I'll open this I'll make this an even broader question. Were there any phrases that you heard in Alaska or China where you were like, "What?"
Well, Alaska, they have this thing called village English, and it's
Okay.
really just like native Alaskans say things in like such a specific way.
Mhm.
Like, I feel like I've told you this. Like, when they take pictures, they're like, picture me. Like, can
No.
you picture me? Oh, okay. So like they have lots of phrases. They'll be like, can you picture me? Or let me picture you. So instead of like saying, let me take a picture, and then or like
It's
they'll be like,
picture me.
trash it. Like go trash it. Or
Mm.
like, yeah.
I think it's interesting how what everybody calls like the garbage cuz I like that was I feel like that was something that my dad like brought to my attention at like a young age because he would say rubbish every now and then, and I'd be like, where are you pulling this out of? He's like, I had a soccer coach who was English and just would
I was
say
gonna say,
rubbish.
yeah, because in the Caribbean we say rubbish too, but it's because we had that British influence.
I
Like
feel like
lots
I've
of
heard you say
rubbish.
rubbish a lot.
Like that's so rubbish. Like that's
Yeah,
so trash, so garbage.
trash. See, I love
hmm
trash.
Yeah.
Trash. Okay, so picture me, trash it.
Yeah. Or they'd be like, I love you lots. Instead of like, I love you a lot, I love you lots.
Oh, that's
Like,
interesting because I say
yeah,
that. I say I love you lots, but
yeah. I love you so lots. I love you so lots.
oh man, so maybe I'd fit right in Alaska. Oh my gosh, you know what's crazy? This is how the algorithm is hitting me. Um I so I've been off TikTok, but I think because we've been talking about Risa Tisa, like my
I saw the ex-husband and I was like, well, that's exactly what I think of.
I
Okay.
literally wanted to ask you where you were at with Risa Tisa.
You know
So
what? I fell off. So when I talked to you last week, I was on episode.
you're on like 30 something.
No, 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 no.
No. You were on like 6 or something because I think
Six.
you had just started,
Yeah, and
but you
there's
said there was 30 and then you
there's
hit me back.
50.
That's
There's
crazy.
50. And I think I fell off at like 38.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
I fell off at 38. But then like I'll just get so many teaser things like teasers or like videos of him or like I don't know, it's just so interesting. Reese teaser. It's so interesting.
But in my YouTube Shorts, which is YouTube's version, oh my gosh, YouTube Shorts used to be fucking bad. Like it was just shitty, really shitty videos from like Facebook. But like
Mm,
recently it's gotten better. And I feel like a lot of YouTubers have like shifted to making shorts specifically. So it's
yeah.
like it's come up. But I recently started seeing people who were in the Alaskan like remote villages, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they were, there's this one, she's living in a dry cabin, and so she was like, she's some kind of researcher or scientist up there, because she was like, yeah, I go to the facility to shower, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, what a crazy way of living. Like not
Yeah,
crazy, but like what,
it's
such an,
so different from yeah. The remote parts of Alaska is real like interesting.
the bush.
Like yeah, Bush Alaska is really what they call it, but it's like their survival and like the way that they adapt and
Did you ever see a moose?
yeah,
Are they big? Are they huge?
huge, huge. Like shut up. I've seen one like across the way before. Like we were in class and then like one of my friends, she like I don't know if you know her. No, you don't know her. She came to my class and was like, "Oh, there's a moose across the river." So we like my whole class and I stopped teaching when I went to the front like the porch
Yeah.
of our school and just looked across and saw the moose walking across. I'm like, sick. Took a video, went back to class, started keep teaching.
That's so cool. Oh my gosh. Did you see a lot of other wildlife up there?
Yeah, there was another day I was teaching and a school of belugas went through. They were migrating through. Well, they couldn't be migrating through because there's an inlet on the side, but like I think they were coming out of the inlet and going out to the ocean. There was like maybe
Whoa.
11 of them, and so we all like the whole school stopped teaching and we just stood out there and watched the them pass by.
That's got to be crazy. That's got to be so, so, so cool.
Yeah, I've seen like porpoises. Like we were like in the boat right here, and the porpoise is literally swimming right next to the boat. Yeah,
Did
that's
that
really
scare you? Was that, did it like freak you out? I feel like that would freak me out.
no, no, it was okay. I've seen seal. Like my friend was like trying to shoot at the seal, but she couldn't get it. But we were like chasing it out to the ocean, but then we came back in because we were in the I think we were in the wrong boat to go to the ocean. So
That's crazy. Oh my gosh, I can't imagine. Like just the whole
it's
school
incredible. So
looking at
fun.
whale watching on a Wednesday.
Yeah. I'll tell you more gory things, but I feel like the podcast should stay PC.
The podcast is tagged not for kids on on YouTube.
Oh, poor. Yeah. No, it's cool. I love it. It's really, really fun seeing wildlife out there. Really, really fun.
What about the wildlife that you see in California? What's the extent of the wildlife? A squirrel.
These crazy girls walking out and barely nothing on these streets, like,
Dang, calling them animals.
yeah, like, so interesting. I don't know, like I feel like California is exactly what I pictured and nothing like what I pictured. Like people are so like just out here doing like everything that they want to do. Like they don't let people stop them out here, you know? People are
Hmm.
expressive, like outwardly expressive of who they are here in California. So
Yeah. So do you find that um how do you feel about that? Because I feel like to me that can either be, if you're like on that same wavelength, that could be like really cool of like seeing people doing exactly what they're doing. But I feel like if you're not on that wavelength, it could be like re- oh my god, excuse me. That could be like really intense.
yeah, I think it's just because of my lived experience of being in Alaska, and Alaska's very conservative and like the most like out their person I met was like one of our students. He wore like makeup on like makeup day, like he like beat his face, and like
Hmm.
everybody in the village was like, you know? And so
Yeah.
like that was the most outwardly thing, but everybody in the village is pretty like conservative. People kind of conform. And so going from that to this, that was kind of like a shock to me because I had to like rewire my brain, like, okay, I'm in the 48, like in the 48, people express themselves how they deem fit, you know?
Is that what they call it in Alaska, the 48?
Hmm. And
Yeah.
the 49th state.
I was gonna say because it wouldn't be the 49 because Hawaii. Yeah, never
Yeah, well,
mind.
I think Alaska was
Cut
the
that out.
49th state.
Oh my gosh, that was goofy as hell.
Well, Alaska was the 49th state to become a state, and I'm pretty sure Hawaii was the last. So
I think so. I'm not gonna
that
fact check, but I'm gonna believe you.
I'm 90% sure. So we will just go with that.
We'll take it. We'll take it as spiritual fact.
But
Um. So wait. So where was the last place you fell off on Risa Tisa? Where was she at? Because I tried to talk. I tried to ask somebody if they knew who Risa Tisa was this weekend, and they're like, I don't even know what you're talking about. And I'm like, well, I'm not on TikTok, so like I can't accurately explain, but this is my secondhand understanding of it.
I'm pretty sure I got to the point. Oh, I know exactly where I fell off. Okay. So Risa Tisa did all her research. She found out that the guy was doing all these lies, like was saying all these lies. Then she talked like she went to the courthouse, looked up the old like his last divorce statement, found his ex-wife, called her. She confirmed that he's a pathological liar and then kicks him out of the house, has him sign like forces him to like meet like he goes and stays with his like family in Tennessee or Arkansas. I don't remember what state. And
Yeah.
then she meets up with him later on because all of them kicked him out the house. He signs like this divorce document which states that anything that's left in the house legally becomes hers. And all of his, I guess, WWE belts were in there and his like Jordans and his like something, I don't know what brand watch. It's like he had like lots of like valuable items in the house. So, like that's
Yeah.
kind of where I fell off. I don't know what happened after that. But he was like living in his car and all that stuff.
Dang.
But
That
go ahead. But I
Shout
found
out
out
Risa Tisa, a modern
literally
historian.
I found out like an update video just popped up on my feed, and apparently when he was younger, his parents got him assessed and he was like diagnosed with schizophrenia and I think personality disorder or something, and he was given medication for it, but he stopped like refused to take he like stopped taking the medication, refused to take the medication anymore. And so like he's just living his best life the way he sees fit right now. So which is makes sense that, he actually has like a cognitive
Yeah,
ability,
that he's on some other shit.
literally.
Yeah.
Which I mean it sucks, but like that's the reality of people.
Yeah. That's a bummer. It's a real
Yeah.
bummer.
Can you imagine like I don't know, like reflecting on it and being in the field that I'm in? Like I it like greatly like I don't know, it changed my mindset rather than me being like, wow, that guy's crazy. Like I can't think like that anymore because I've like been able to like understand so many disorders and how it impacts people's lives and how it impacts the lives of people around them. I kind of have sympathy, but then he's also an adult and he's making the cognitive decision to not take the medication.
Yeah.
So like now he's just like intentionally impacting other people's lives in a negative way because of what he's doing, and it's causing his family to push him away and all these things. So I don't know, it's hard, very,
Do
very hard.
do you feel like do you feel like your area of expertise now, like being maybe not area of expertise. I mean, yes, but Do you feel like your field, like working with kids and specific, because you specifically work with younger kids, right? Like what
Yeah,
grades?
K6.
K to six? Yeah. That's what I thought. I was like, I remember her having like little kids. Um, but do you feel like that on top of like going for your master's and like learning more about these disorders like has given you more empathy
Oh my
for
God. Yes. Like I was so I now that I'm here and I am where I am, I feel like I was so ignorant because like the knowledge was there for me to learn, but it was like learn it on your own kind of thing.
Mhm.
And of course, as I met a child, I was like it was easier for me to embrace them than for me to push them away because I just have that level of empathy for children.
you
But now
you're
that
like you're like a very warm person for especially for like kids. Like not everybody is good with kids, but like you have that like yeah.
yeah, and I'd like to think so. So I appreciate you. So yeah, but now that I've like understood like the whole like aspect of it, like the academic aspect and like the way that it shapes in the brain and like what parts of the brain's being affected by it and like how it manifests in a person. So like if a person has emotional like emotional disorder, like being able to understand the manifestations of that. I feel like at first it was so stigmatizing to me that I was like, oh, if somebody told me that like Tonic has ED, I'd be like, oh, shucks, I don't want to like interact with that guy, you know? But like
Erectile dysfunction?
emotional disorder, I would
Okay,
like not want to be a go ahead.
question. Would emotional disorder like be a group like a grouping term or is like emotional
It's an it's an
disorder?
umbrella.
Okay.
It's an umbrella,
Umbrella
yeah.
term. That's yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, but like now that I've like been so exposed to it and I've learned so much about it and I've understand like the connotations behind it and all of like we just talk so in depth about each disorder that we're like encounter as a school psychologist. I feel like this stigmatizing like aspects of it has gone down for me that I'm able to like go into it with like both feet and like go into it like with the mindset of like
Like a more open mind.
yeah. And so I don't know, like I was just thinking about that because yesterday I interacted with a child that like she's only 4 or 5, but like she
Hmm.
has like the makings of it. If those like behaviors and like things that she's doing doesn't get like quick corrected at that age, if she gets older, it can manifest into something else, you know? But
Yeah.
like just interacting with that student and like seeing how much that I pushed myself to like help her, I realized it's really like in this stage of my life, I feel so much more empathetic to those kids to like help them I don't know, just to help them like live their most authentic true self in this world.
Well, and also like not to like put words in those kids' mouth, but like I think like having some kind of an emotional disorder is like I mean, disorder, like handicap, like not it's like making life harder for you. And like not only about living a more authentic life, but like living a more like fulfilling life. Like because they're
Absolutely.
not feeling like cuz like I remember being in elementary school feeling like, "Oh my god, I'm an idiot." But like now after going through college and like talking to so many different therapists and like so many different doctors, I'm like, oh no, I just like I have ADHD, which like is a different way to like approach. It's like, oh, oh, what does Rick say? It's not an excuse, but it's like information to like come at problems differently, and like
Absolutely.
you want to offer that kind of support.
Yeah, and it's interesting because when through like this reading I'm doing right now, I'm doing a study on a um like a intervention.
Hmm.
And so this intervention basically tells you like it's an intervention for like social emotional learning and teaching kids how to regulate their emotions and how to have like positive peer interactions and all these things and like to help reduce aggression. But like right now, the study that I'm looking into, it talks a lot about like exposing the children about like their brain, how their brain works, like what your brain looks like when you're in like the executive functioning stage, when your brain is in like the fight or flight stage, when it's like in like the if you the more you teach kids about how they are and like what they are, then
Yeah.
it empowers them to like say, okay, this is something I'm super capable of doing. This is something that I struggle with doing, but like here are the coping mechanisms, here are the skills that I've been taught to help myself be the best that I can be in my life. And I can like let's live my most true, most authentic self.
Yeah. I mean, I even feel like that's something I'm working on now. Like as a 27-year-old, like I'm trying to figure out how to like regulate my emotions or know if something is like going to affect me emotionally, like negatively emotionally, and like how that manifests in my own self. Like I think that is like, well, first off, I think therapy is like way at this point in the game, like still way too stigmatized. Like I feel like everybody needs therapy. Everybody at least needs like some kind of self-reflection to like realize how they work. Um but like I don't know, I think that like you said, that's like it helps people to live more a more authentic life, and I think it like has like made me able to live like a more like fulfilling life. Like I said, like I feel like I used to like feel so down on myself because I'm like, oh man, I like wasn't able to handle my emotions, and now I'm like, I know how to like I through practice I've like learned some of those like emotionally like self-soothing techniques, and I think that's awesome. That
I think you touched on an awesome point where you said everyone needs therapy. It helped me. No, like I'm resonating on that because in my class today, we had a person come in and present on their district and like the ways that they support the students within their schools. And something she said was like, at first, there was the general ed students, and then all the special ed students were like excluded. And then they had the general ed students, but then they had the special ed kids, and they would connect at some point. Then you had the general ed, and then the special ed kids were in the classroom, but like in the back of the classroom.
yeah.
But now you would like integrated them, so you had general ed, but then you also had the special ed kids. But you can tell who the general eds are and who the special ed kids are. But she said that in her district, they're moving it towards every single child will get the support and help that they need. Because even if you're a general ed student, maybe you're multilingual, maybe you get anxiety, maybe you have, like every
Yeah.
person comes in with something that they need help with. And so like looking at every single child and saying, what does this child need to succeed? It allows like I think that's something that I would have loved because every like there's those children that they might be silently fighting battles and they just need like the support they need. They need the support in order for them to just like have that confidence within themselves or know when they're getting anxiety, know when they need to ask for help. Just like being every single child just being able to get whatever support they need to be successful in like the school system, but also to be successful after school. I
Yeah.
thought that was like really inspiring.
Well, I mean, I think that's so awesome that they're doing it in schools because like even if that's like 1 hour, even if that was like something, oh man, that just sounds like a nightmare on teachers though. Like they would have to
And that's
like,
the thing, they have so many support like staff. Like they have literally a teacher teaching SEL, then they have the general ed teacher, but then they also have like a counselor. Then they have this, they have that. They have so many people on staff.
oh, okay, so
So
it's not a
it's
problem of
so
support.
interesting. Mm-hmm.
Mm. That's
Yeah.
so interesting because it's like more so teaching, more so coming at it from the standpoint of like everybody, like you said, everybody is an individual and has brings something other to the table besides like trying to learn. cursive in third grade.
Yeah. Which I find it, I don't know, I have to do more of my like 48 like research knowledge of classrooms because when I taught in Michigan, it was so exhausting in each classroom because I don't feel like I had that much support in my general ed classroom
Hmm.
with students who were general ed, but they also had something that they like needed help with, you know? But like I taught a TK classroom, which is a transitional kindergarten classroom, which first time I've heard about it in California. Have you heard of that before?
Transitional
So
kindergarten is.
yeah, so it's basically like the class before kindergarten. So it's like 4 and 5 year olds, maybe 3 year olds at the beginning of the school year come into this classroom and they're like learning like social behaviors and like they're learning how to sit quietly. They're learning their letters. They're learning their alphabets. They're just learning their numbers and their alphabets. So they're like learning the little
Learning their
fundamentals.
letter. So then how would that be different from like a Montessori?
I don't know about Montessori's. I feel like
Okay.
Montessori's are more of just like learning through play,
Yeah.
and so it's not very structured. Montessori's aren't very structured, while TK is like teaching you how to be in school,
How to like
how to line
um
up, how to wait your turn, like the things that you learn in kindergarten, they're teaching you that in TK. So once you get to kindergarten, you're just learning actual like academic curricula.
mm,
Because when I subbed for this TK class, we played, then cleaned up and read a story, and washed hands to have lunch to play, to go play, to come back in the classroom and play. Like they just play, but it's like teaching how
but
to
it's
play.
like introducing some of those steps into playing.
Yeah, and like I had a
I've
paraprofessional,
never
which
heard of that before.
me either. So my para one was just there to facilitate and just be an extra hand. Then the para two was there for like the kid who had autism or the kid that needed to be changed. The para two would do that. So there was me and then two other adults with 15 students. And I was like, that was incredible. I've never had anything like that before.
I think that's like, my gosh, this is how you know it's like time is progressing. I'm like thinking, I'm trying to think what my Montessori was, and I think it was like five. I think it was like five adults and like 12 kids or something.
Mm,
Yeah. But like that makes sense that everybody would kind of be, it wouldn't be all on a teacher, that it's more on making a support system.
absolutely. Because when I was in the fourth grade classroom, it was the classroom
When I
teacher,
was
which
in the fourth, oh no, third grade. Never mind. That Macklemore song is third grade.
there was a classroom teacher which was me, but then they also have like a special ed teacher that stays in the classroom the whole day. So no, I
Gotcha.
feel like there's lots of like support nowadays and like a lot of pushing because like I was reading the forum and there was somebody with autism, somebody with DMDD, there was somebody with ADHD, there was somebody with so I don't know, there's like DMDD is like disruptive mood dysregulation disorder.
Mm,
Yeah. Yeah.
dang. Yeah, and I feel like with I feel like I don't know, I don't know the stats, but I feel like people are getting more anxious as time as time goes on.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Since COVID, like students have been diagnosed with depression, anxiety like doubled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I felt that. I mean, I had a great lockdown, but coming out of it, I was like, wow, this sucks. Life sucks. We got to get back to this.
Absolutely.
Um, well, Dar, we're almost done, and oh my gosh, I'm so good at like checking my timers before they almost go off. Um, but it's gonna kick us out in 7 minutes. Um, but I think with everything that we have touched on this month, which like crazy that the month is
Already over.
already over. Like I feel like we just started. Um, but I think we've talked about so much about like where we've been, and I think like I don't know, where do you feel like you actually no. I had like multiple ways. Like you know how you can make like a choose your own adventure. It's like go to this page or go to this page. I was like, how do I want to wrap a bow on this month? Because I feel like, we were talking so much about like our values and like fundamental stuff last week. And first off, I wanted to say thank you so much for sharing that with me because I have thought about that all week and I'm like, I think one of the reasons why we became friends so fast and so easily, I like could feel you were just like an authentic and just like real person who was just trying to have fun. And like I feel like that is that in part with like I feel like that's like a big part of my vibe is like that I want to be as authentic as I can be and like we're here for a good time, not a long time. And I feel like, I instantly got that and after us being so busy for like what, 2 years, like doing this was instantly so easy, so fun. And I, yeah, I like have been thinking about that and I just like appreciate you, Dar. I appreciate
I
you
really appreciate you.
giving me the time to do this. And like, yeah, I don't know. I like now I'm blank because I had ideas for how I was gonna end this, but I don't know. I'm really glad that like you are somebody that will give me the time and not just for this, like whenever. Um because I feel like, at the beginning of the month I was having a really hard time like with like feeling connected to people. And now I'm like at the end of the month I like don't feel that way. And you are in no small part like you are a part of that. Oh my gosh, you get what I'm trying to
I
say.
totally
Yeah,
get
you get
you.
what I'm trying to say. Um, so yeah, I just thank you for hanging with me, even though you didn't
Absolutely.
crack a single bat. Oh no, you cracked that pineapple juice.
I finished both of these.